Hey YouTube, this is Samaris Hunter, and I am bringing you my version of the Rokket deck profile post-circuit break. So, without further ado, let us get on with it. Bear in mind, I understand that some monsters that some people use are different, but I preferred making character decks. Meaning if that character didn't use that monster, you're not going to find it in this deck. That's just me, but whatever. So to start things off, first I run 3 Metal Rokket Dragon. Get a good look at him. I like the design to the rocket monsters because they're like ammunition for the Boral monsters, but I'm sure y'all already knew that. His effect is, now bear in mind, all rocket monsters have this part. When a Link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, this is a quick effect, you can destroy this card, then destroy all your opponent's cards in the column this card was in. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard, because it was destroyed on the field by battle or card effect and sent there this turn, you can special summon one. This is the part that all rocket monsters share. You can special summon one rocket monster from your deck, except insert rocket monster's name here. You can only use each effect of Metal Rokket Dragon once per turn. I like this card because you can pretty much eliminate 2 cards with 1 shot. However, you have to be smart with your placement for this monster. But aside from that, it's actually highly effective. Hence why I run 3. Next, I run 3 Magna Rokket Dragons. Take a good look at it. Its effect is that when a Link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, quick effect, you can destroy this card, then send 1 monster on the field to the graveyard. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed on the field by battle or card effect and sent there this turn, you can special summon 1 rocket monster from your deck except Magna Rokket Dragon. You can use each effect of Magna Rokket Dragon once per turn. I like this card because it's not a targeting effect, which means it will work against monsters like Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, which is neat. Very, very useful. Next I run 3 Auto Rokket Dragons. I'm not going to go into detail on this one, just know it's like Magna Rokket Dragon. The only difference is it targets spells and trap cards. Other than that, it has the exact same effect. Next I run 3 Anestia Rokket Dragon. At least I think that's how you pronounce his name. Its effect is that when a Link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, quick effect, you can destroy this card, then make 1 face-up monster on the field unable to attack. Also, it has its effects negated. I'm not going to read the rest of it because it's pretty much the same as all of the rocket monsters. I like this card because it pretty much cock blocks the opponent, if you will. It's not a target. It is a targeting effect, but that's okay. Next, I run 3 Sniffer Dragon. It's worth mentioning that this is a dragon deck. Its effect is that when this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Sniffer Dragon from your deck to your hand. You can only use the effect of Sniffer Dragon once per turn. Kind of bites that you can only use it once per turn, but I can kind of see what they're going for. Especially if you use it in combination with the next card, which is 3 Gateway Dragons. Its effect is that if your opponent controls a Link monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Gateway Dragon once per turn this way. Once per turn, you can special summon one level 4 or lower dark dragon monster from your hand. This card works nicely because if you go second and your opponent manages to link summon, you can special summon this card, special summon Sniffer Dragon, add another Sniffer Dragon from your deck to your hand, and then proceed to summon it as well. Right there, you have an instant Link 3 monster, which is very nice. Next, I run just 2 Shell Rokket Dragon. There you go. Its effect is that when a Link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, quick effect, you can destroy this card, then destroy one monster in the column this card was in, and if you do, destroy any monsters at this card's adjacent zones. I'm not going to read the rest because it's the same as other Rokket monsters. Being able to special summon another Rokket monster so long as it's not Shell Rokket. I like this card because you're essentially destroying up anywhere between 1 to 3 cards with 1 tribute, which is very nice. And because it's the ones in this column, if your opponent has like, oh I don't know, a Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon in a monster zone adjacent to the card, to the monster this card's column was in, it goes too. Next, I run 2 Link Belt Wall Dragon. I actually plan on ditching this card, but that's fine. It cannot be normal summon or set. It must be special summoned by its own effect, which is when you link summon, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, place 2 counters on it. If a monster is link summoned, remove 2 of these counters from this card, or all if less than 2. Once per turn, during each standby phase, place 1 counter on this card. No monster can be link summoned unless this card has at least as many of these counters as the monster's link rating. Monsters cannot attack except link monsters. So not only does it limit your opponent in terms of what they can link summon, but it also makes it to where only link monsters can attack. However, it can only be special summoned when you link summon. I do my best to just go into Borlow Dragon, then special summon it. Now, I know he hasn't used this card, but as that's pretty much all of Revolver or Varus's cards, and because it's a dragon deck, I feel it is quite prudent to run 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Its effect is that you can special summon this card from your hand by banishing 1 face-up dragon type monster you control, Sniffer Dragon. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 dragon type monster from your hand or graveyard except Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. So basically it allows you to cycle out your in the graveyard Rokket monsters, allowing you to continuously fire them at your opponent. That's it for the monsters. Now on to the spells. I run 3 Quick Launch. Its effect is that you special summon 1 Rokket monster from your deck, but it cannot attack. Also destroy it during the end phase. I run 3 because it gives you a free Rokket monster. And usually you don't have to worry about the destroyed at the end phase part of it, because by that time you've already done something with that Rokket monster. Whether it be used to link summon, tribute summon, or even to use its effect. So, no problems there. Next I run 2 Squib Draw. Basically, you target 1 Rokket monster you control, destroy it, and if you do, draw 2 cards. But you can only use 1 Squib Draw once per turn. I run 2 because very rarely do you ever actually have to use this card, but it is nice to have at your disposal should you need it. I run 2 Boot Sector Launch, which surprised me to find out that it's actually a field spell and not a continuous spell card. It states that all Rokket monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense points. you can activate one of these effects. Special summon up to 2 rocket monsters with different names from your hand in defense position. And the second effect is that if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, special summon rocket monsters with different names from your graveyard in defense position up to the difference. You can only use this effect of boot sector launch once per turn. I'm going under the assumption you can use both in the same turn, but don't trust that. I'm not sure myself. If anyone knows the correct answer on how to use this card properly, please, by all means, tell me. I kind of want to know. Just drop it in the comments. I run 1 Fire Prison, because why not? And all dragon monsters on the field gain 300 defense. If any link monster on the field, neither player can link summon a link monster with a lower link rating than the highest link rating on the field. Monsters cannot attack except link monsters. Apply the following effect while 2 or more Cyberse link monsters are on the field. Negate the activated effects of Cyberse monsters, and Cyberse monsters cannot attack, cannot be targeted for attacks, and they cannot be targeted by card effects. I like this card because of its effect against Cyberse monsters. It pretty much turns it doesn't seem to matter if they have these link monsters. You can just destroy whatever monster you feel like and leave those 2 link monsters on the field. Because then it results in direct attacks, which is nice. I run 1 Terraforming, which allows you to search out 1 field spell and add it to your hand. 1 Soul Charge, which allows you to special summon monsters from your graveyard by up to as many as you're willing to pay 1,000 life points for each. So if you summon 3 monsters from your graveyard, that's 3,000 life points. Last resort card. But it does help you make nice plays. That's it for the spell cards. Now onto the trap. Believe it or not, I actually do run 2 Boral Cooling. This card actually bailed me out on a couple of occasions. Tribute 1 rocket monster, then target 1 Boral Link monster you control. Equip it with this card. If this card is equipped to a monster by this effect, the equipped monster gains the effect at once per turn. It's a quick effect. You can target 1 monster you control. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect this turn. Pair this with Boral Dragon and you pretty much made it indestructible. Next I run 2 Mirror Force. Everyone knows what Mirror Force does. But for those of you who don't, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy all your opponent's attack position monsters. Enough said. I run 1 Back to the Front, which is essentially a resurrection card. 1 Solemn Warning. And 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. That's it for the main deck. Now onto the extra deck. I wish I could afford more than 1, but as it stands, that's not going to happen. 1 Boral Dragon, which takes 3 or more effect monsters, and neither player can target this card with monster effects. Once per turn, this is a quick effect, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field. It loses 500 attack defense. Your opponent cannot activate card or effects in response to this effect's activation. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks an opponent's monster, you can place that opponent's monster in the zone this card points to and take control of it, but it is sent to the graveyard during the end phase of the next turn. So not only does this act as the gun to the Rocket's ammunition, but it also cannot be destroyed by card effects, which is why I said if you pair it with Boral Cooling, it pretty much becomes indestructible. And it has a lovely effect of allowing you to assume control of your opponent's monster until the end of their next battle phase. Or turn, whatever. You know what I mean. So it's a very nice card. Plus it's got 3,000 attack points. Can't go wrong there. Next I run one topologic bomber dragon. It requires 2 effect monsters. If another monster is special summoned to a zone a link monster points to, while this monster is on the field, destroy all monsters in the main monster zones. Also, your other monsters cannot attack for the rest of this turn. After damage calculation, if this card attacked an opponent's monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. So, in addition to having the effect of being able to blow up your opponent's entire monster zones, it also grants you the power of Elemental Hero Flame Wingman. Definitely can't go wrong there. Next I run just one Triple Burst Dragon. It requires 2 monsters that are not tokens. Once per turn, during the damage step, when a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated, this is a quick effect, you can negate the activation. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing. During your main phase, except the turn this card was special summoned, you contribute this card, then target 1 link 2 or lower monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and then you can special summon 1 level 4 lower dragon monster from your hand. It pretty much allows you to special summon link 2 monsters, blah 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 blah. Its effect is actually fairly self-explanatory. I don't really have to go into much detail over it. And then lastly, I run 2 Twin Triangle Dragons. This would be the Link 2 monster in which I reference to. It requires 2 level 4 lower dragon monsters, not tokens. And when this card is Link summoned, pay 500 life points, then target 1 level 5 or higher monster in your graveyard, special summon it to your zone this card points to, but it cannot attack this turn, so it also has its effect negated. It's a good way to get Link Belt Wall Dragon back out on the field, should it get destroyed. Well, that actually does it for this deck profile. It's a fairly quick one. It's easy enough to remember what you need. I will be doing a Trickstar deck profile soon, probably after Flames of Destruction is released. I will also be doing an update to this deck, as well as an update to my Cybers deck. Also next month, the release of Dark Saviors will be out, in which I will be doing a Vampire deck update. And I guess when Layers of Darkness is released, I'll do a Layers of Darkness structure deck review. I don't see why not. So, one more thing. I am having an artist contest. Whoever can draw the best background. I don't care about characters. You can draw characters if you want. I'm just interested in someone who can do backgrounds, such as trees, buildings, things like that. I'm going to leave my email in the description below, and I want you all to send me your best work, because whoever does the best work, and I will email you back, so make sure you send me your personal email. You will be helping me make a manga. That's right, I'm looking to hire an illustrator. I might not be able to pay you right now, but I'm sure we can work something out. You won't be working for free. Unless you want to work for free, in which case, that's fine too. I just need someone who can help me do backgrounds. If you're interested in this, send me your art depicting backgrounds, and the person who impresses me the most will be helping me out. I think that's about it, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.